What's up, Home Slices? It's Kiara with Home Slice Adulting, and I'm coming to you trying to kill two birds with one stone. I have quite a busy day tomorrow. I have a doctor's appointment. I have 2 classes to attend, including an exam, and I also have to go to work tomorrow night, so I probably won't have time to do this review. If I didn't do it right now, I probably wouldn't be able to do it until Wednesday. So I'm trying to get better about doing these reviews in a timely fashion. And since the final installment of the Love and Hip Hop Hollywood reunion came on tonight, I figured while I'm on my commute home, which is about 40 minutes, I might as well get this out of the way. You know, multitasking, getting things done. You know, that's what I need to be more about, because I am a serious procrastinator. So let's just go ahead and get into this. I will say that I watched Love and Hip Hop tonight when it was on, and I also live tweeted it. So for those of you who are interested on my initial thoughts as the show was happening, you guys, I do live tweet sometimes. Typically I don't live tweet because I can't take notes and live tweet at the same time. That being said, I did not take notes for this, so I'm just kind of going off of memory from what I remember from the show. So let's just get into it. We start off where we left off last time, with Zell surprise attacking what's his name, Mr. Ray. Now here's the issue that I have with that. Like I said last time on my last review, if you have not checked it out, please check it out. I will leave a link up here in this top right corner. And I say that because I actually did that review late. So if you want to check out my review for the season finale and for part 1 of the reunion, that video was all smushed into one, and you can check that out before watching this review. But anyways, so as I said in my previous review, there's something very sneaky and conniving and something almost wrong with Zell being able to make it seem like he's trying to mend fences with Mr. Ray and then going right into attack mode. And as much as I dislike Masika, she kind of had a point that in the animal kingdom, you know, unless you're a predator, I guess, you don't do sneak attacks. So you know, a lot of animals, when it comes to, you know, attacking for food, they do sneak attacks. But when it comes to animals actually fighting, which typically happens if they're fighting for a mate, they allow their, you know, the person that they're squaring up with to have time and prepare themselves to fight or do whatever. So it was something very nasty and underhanded and yucky about Zell being able to turn on his evil switch so quickly and to attack Mr. Ray. And even with the whole thing with them doing their best to try to explain why they had beef, we still don't really know the reason why Zell was always so hell-bent on trying to get back at Mr. Ray. I mean, from what I understand, Mr. Ray knew of somebody who was in a relationship with Zell, and Zell wasn't a very good person to him or her. So Mr. Ray didn't want anything to do with Zell, and then when Zell saw that he was blocked from Mr. Ray's Instagram account, I mean, it was a whole messy situation. But regardless of how the situation played out, nothing Mr. Ray did warranted that kind of sneak attack. And I just felt it was very nasty, and Zell does not need to come back. I think that his entertainment value is high, but that he is too much of a risk to have back on the show. And that just goes to show that, you know, he doesn't know how to play his cards when it comes to being on a show like this. Yes, it is important for you to have entertainment value, but there comes a point where you are too volatile to be on a show like this. And so, you know, the same thing goes for Hazel Lee being kicked off the show as well. But anyways, I don't want to talk about Zell anymore. I hope he doesn't come back next season. And as much as I'm not really here for Mr. Ray, I will say that I noticed that Masika is like the queen bee of all of her friends, and I really don't like that, because her friends have this loyalty like to a fault regarding them backing her up in beefs and whatnot. And it's like, why? Because like there was one point, I think in the last episode, in the first part of the reunion, where she was like, I told you guys to stop. And it's like, are you the mom of the group? Like, are you Khadijah from Living Single? Like the mother of the group? Like, come on. Whatever. Their whole group is very annoying to me. Anyways, Masika gets into an argument with Nikki Baby, and I didn't understand what the argument was about, really. Like, Nikki Baby was saying that the whole thing went sour between everybody that was on the stage because these friendships are not real friendships. And Masika proceeded to interrupt her, and we never really got to hear Nikki Baby finish her thought, and there was almost a fight between them. And Masika was just doing the most, laying on the floor, telling her to come over and fight or whatever. I've never seen Nikki Baby fight, but Masika probably would have gotten the best of that exchange. But anyways, and Masika was in no position to call Nikki Baby plastic when she's just as plastic as Nikki these days. So anyways, that fight was stupid. But moving on, what else happened in the reunion? We see Brooke Valentine is finally, you know, on the stage with Marcus and Keisha and Booby and Bridget, and they're discussing the little love quadrangle that happened. And for the first time, Marcus gets to see the passionate and romantic kiss that Brooke and Booby shared when she was telling him goodbye. And Marcus, you know, it was his first time seeing it, which I thought was very strange. But you know, the reunion was filmed before the final episodes aired, so it shouldn't be too strange that this was the first time he was seeing it. And it wasn't clear to me whether or not Brooke and Marcus were still together. But while I was live tweeting, I think I decided that, you know, Marcus and Brooke kind of both deserve better. I mean, Marcus deserves somebody who knows, you know, what they want, and Brooke not being willing to have sex with him before she gets married, you know, tells us a little bit about why Marcus was, you know, sleeping around or whatever. But interestingly enough, you know, Brooke is abstinent, and he was okay with that. But if you're sleeping with somebody else on the side, aka the paralegal, you're not okay with her being abstinent. Like, do you see where those two things conflict? But anyways, there was a whole situation where some people, and not the people, the other cast members who weren't involved, were egging Marcus and Keisha Cole on to have a passionate kiss so that they could balance out Brooke and Booby having a passionate kiss. And one thing I did not like was Keisha Cole, who is so beyond unbothered when it comes to Booby, when she was playing devil's advocate or being messy, whatever you want to call it, and was saying, you know, oh, that was a really passionate kiss between her and Booby, and I didn't see her kiss you like that. And it's like, Keisha, shut your face, okay? If you are so happy that you and Booby are divorced, you shouldn't even say anything, like, at all. And it's like, why do you choose the very last episode of the whole season on part 2 of the reunion to finally try to be entertaining? If you weren't entertaining for these whole past 14 and 15 episodes, why are you trying to be entertaining now? I don't like it. You can take it back. You know, 11/11 reset that, okay? That annoyed me, and I was like, come on, Keisha, you can't choose now to be entertaining when you bored us the whole season. Whatever, moving on. That just really annoyed me. But anyways, Brooke said something about, you know, I left this finger vacant just in case you wanted to propose to me. And watching that whole exchange, I don't even think Brooke and Marcus are together anymore. So whatever, like I said, they both deserve better. Brooke deserves somebody who's not going to play her. So, you know, that's all good or whatever. And then they talk about the whole thing with Bridget, and somebody on Twitter brought up a good point. Bridget claimed that she did not sleep with Boobie and Catalina, when she revealed in her argument with Brooke, and you know, a couple episodes earlier, that if you want to know how my pee is, if you want to know if it's so good, you should ask Boobie, because I was with him and Catalina. And it's like, which one is it? Did you sleep with them or did you not sleep with them? And so Bridget kind of flipped it around, and she was saying that Boobie listened to me. Boobie listened to me talk about a guy who, you know, wouldn't listen to me or whatever. And, you know, I'm not going to cry over him anymore. We got into the whole situation about her and James. Or was that the last episode? Was this the episode with the auntie music? Y'all, I'm getting the reunion parts mixed up. Anyways, they asked James to define auntie music and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, so that was last time, I'm remembering now. But anyways, nobody brought up, speaking of Bridget and James, nobody brought up how Bridget got James to leave his wife for her. So that's interesting, you know, in itself. I wish somebody would have brought that up so we can get some more tea on that, but it doesn't matter. The two are not together anymore, and, you know, good riddance. Anyways, what else ended up happening? Ray's pressing charges against Zell. Y'all, I can't even think of like what else happened, because to me it wasn't that exciting. Safari crying, like actually being upset that he is leaving Los Angeles, I thought was really interesting, because I feel like a lot, Nikki said it, I feel like quite a bit of the friendships that are on this show are not real, and for him to have a real emotional response about leaving LA was really interesting to me. I do think he was being sincere, and that he was sincerely upset that he was, you know, gonna have to leave or whatever. So you know, God bless Safari, but he won't be without money. He will be on Love and Hip Hop New York, so, you know, woohoo. He will finally get to put his furs to good use in an actual place that, you know, changes weather. It doesn't have consistently sunny weather. Anyways, I'm trying to think of who else is even on the show, y'all. I can't even remember what happened on the show, because I was watching it on Uverse Live, and like I would have to pause it at certain times, and then the Uverse would skip. So there were certain parts of it that I kind of missed, but I did get a chance to watch like the majority of it. I probably got to see 95% of it. But oh, Tierra Marie and Cisco, there we go. I think this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. So we talk about Tierra Marie, and I'm very annoyed that she still has these negative feelings towards her friends who were only trying to help her, but we're not going to get into that. I talked about that already. But the interesting part was Cisco still trying to be a creep when there's like videotaped evidence that that he was basically doing Tierra dirty, and he never gave a really good reason about why he thought that, you know, he was broken up with Tierra enough to be dating this other girl, Amber. And then things kind of got out of hand when Tierra expressed that she was upset that there was a secret meeting between Nia, Moniece, and Cisco talking about her, you know, drinking problems. So Tierra really didn't appreciate that, and I'm assuming the first time that she heard about it was when she saw it on the show. Now, Moniece threw Nia under the bus and said, well, Nia was the one who said that maybe we should talk to Cisco and basically get him on board. Because, you know, the more people that care about you that are in these interventions, it's like the more that, you know, people will listen to what you have to say. And that brings, you know, about the point where Tiara says, why wasn't any of my family there? But whatever. So anyways, after Moniece is explaining this whole thing, Sisqó and Moniece get into it, and I think Moniece was mostly right about, you know, what was going on. And she was saying, Sisqó, you never really cared about her, and she got really upset and really passionate about it. And here's one thing, Moniece goes hard for her friends, which is only good to like a certain extent, but in this situation, if your friend is dating somebody that doesn't care about them and is trying to manipulate them and isn't good for them, yes, you can go hard for your friend. But if your friend is starting unnecessary beefs and is not handling their own business and putting you in their business to the point where you will go on their behalf, that's something else, okay? That's called cowardice, and you do not need to be somebody's proxy or somebody's process server serving, you know, cease and desist papers, okay? That's not... There's a clear line of distinction, and Moniece does not know where that is. But anyway, Moniece was going off on Uncle Fester and you know, just going off on him. And Sisqó gets so irritated. Sisqó gets so irritated that he takes a pillow off the couch and gets ready to throw it at Moniece. And then that's where everybody was like, whoa, Sisqó, whoa. Okay, we can tell that Sisqó may have, you know, anger issues. That's something that, you know, nobody can deny. But it got to the point of like almost domestic violence a little bit. Like, you're gonna throw a pillow at a woman? Like, what kind of punk move is that? Like, come on, Sisqó. Like, what's wrong with you? Anyways, that was terrible. And like, even Tiara was like, you're gonna try to throw a pillow at her? Like, what's the deal, Sisqó? I can't. I wish Sisqó would just shut his face. And he kept talking the whole time throughout Tiara's little segment. And it's like, really, Sisqó? Why do you even care? Like, why is it got to a point where Sisqó seemed like he was still trying to get Tiara to see that her friends were not her friends. But it's like, y'all aren't even together anymore. Why do you care? Why are you being allowed to speak? Like, just hush. Anyways, y'all, that's all I remember from the last installment of the Love and Hip Hop Hollywood reunion. It's been a great season. I am super proud of myself, and I am going to pat myself on the back like a million times for actually reviewing the entire series all the way through, from the season premiere to the end of the reunion for season 4. I'm super proud of myself that I was actually able to stay on track, because procrastination and inconsistency have riddled my life for a long time, and they're really bad habits that I need to break. So I'm super happy that I was able to do this from start to finish, and I plan to review another show. It will probably be Real Housewives of Atlanta, but if you have an opinion on what show you would like me to review, just let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about the reunion, what you thought about my review. I know you guys can't see me that well, but I'm pretty sure you guys can hear me. Typically what I do, I like and I enjoy watching, or listening rather, to reviews while I'm in the car on my commute, because again, my commute is like 40 minutes. So some of my favorite YouTubers that I listen to on my way to work, on my way home from work, are For It's Rocks, Ashley Miller, James Caldwell, Mr. Still Standing, Justin J, Alexander Rogers, Bondi Blue, and Miss PTV. So those are like the people that I watch on YouTube, and they kind of inspire me and like kind of pushed me to keep going, because this YouTube channel has kind of been up and down for me, and I'm finally getting to the point where I am seeing results in my subscriber count. Thank you for everyone who has been watching my reviews, everyone who has been liking and commenting, everyone who has been subscribing to my channel. I'm just really grateful that you all have come along with me for this ride, whether it's for my reviews or whether it's for hair tutorials or makeup or whatever it is. I just really want to say thank you to you guys, and peace out, home slices.